Hello, I am Ita and I'm going to do some gardening. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is I am no expert and I'm no gardener, but most of what I know is learned through trial and error and some very good gardening programmes on television. One I'll mention in particular is Untitled Chapter, Gary Glass, which means green garden. It's in the Irish language but subtitled in English, so it's available to all the English speaking world. And great little tips for the amateur like me. I'm going to start off with two little things, kind of gardening hacks. It's good to be resourceful and to use what's in nature. And the first one I'm going to do is, we all love a cup of tea, and there's an awful lot of good qualities in tea. So if you gather up your old tea bags and dry them out, once they're dried out, gather up the tea dust, and in no time at all you'll have loads and loads of ground tea. Now, tea is full of nectar, it's natural, it grows, it's a leaf, it grows in hot countries, no chemicals to my knowledge, and therefore when you put it back into the soil it certainly enriches it. So gather up your tea bags, no time at all, and I don't drink all that much tea, but it doesn't belong gathering up. So if you add it to your normal compost, and just mix it up, it certainly enriches it. It'll not do it any harm, this one sure thing. And another little tip, and I got this from Teacher Caher, is natural fertilizers, i.e. non-chemical fertilizers, and one that would be very available to everybody is nettles. The country's full of nettles. Gather up your nettles, steep them in water, and when they've rotted, take the nettles out, and that liquid is a great fertilizer. Again, non-chemical, non-harmful to the environment, and good for your plants. That's just one little thing. The other little thing is we can plant our little seedlings in plastic containers, and then when they take root you gently take them out and put them into the soil. But an alternative is to gather up the insides of toilet rolls, fill your little toilet rolls with soil, put your little seedlings in, and when they've taken root you don't have to prise them out of a plastic container, just lift them out, put them in the ground, and because that's cardboard, again a natural material, it'll dissolve into the ground, decompose. So we're going to do that now with our things. So just fill all these little containers with soil, and it's going to go everywhere, I know, but we'll fill them up. We've got 20 here, so that's quite a lot. It doesn't matter if it goes outside, it can be. It's nice dry compost, but we will need obviously to water it later. Fallen floor and everywhere, but I'll not worry too much about things like that. Tidy up later. Working with soil is lovely. I only took up gardening a couple of years ago. I suppose like a lot of people I hadn't much interest for a long time. Lovely to see a lovely garden, but when you do take an interest in it, it's a lovely pastime and lovely working with soil and with nature, and there's great pleasure in seeing things grow. And I suppose human nature is really tied into gardening nature, and as we all know, if you plant something it grows. So okay, you can see the divisions in these. So a little hole in each one. Children would love doing this sort of thing, and it doesn't really matter if it's messy. It's not a big deal. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20. We're going to start off with our basil, and we'll do 5 basil, 5 parsley, 5 salad, and 5 peppers. So that's our our plants, and this thing isn't going to open for me, of course. I should have it open at the beginning. So, our basil. And then just put it in your hand, and a couple in each little, each 2 or 3, just a wee tiny sprinkling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a few left over. I'll just leave them there. Okay, our parsley. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you can plant outside what's left. Salad. This is a mixture of salad leaves there. Just a mixture of everything, like salad basically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And last but not least, I planted these last year, and I did it too late. They came up all right, but they were tiny little things, so maybe this year we'll have better luck with them. They're tiny little things. So that's a bit of water, so just a sprinkling of water. And cover over the little tops. And with any luck they'll sprout. I got a tip of one of the television programmes, an experienced gardener in the west of Ireland, or Scommon or Leitrim or somewhere, and he said that all these seed companies, the majority of them are in the south of England, and whenever they give you instructions to sow in February or March, we nearly need to add a month on to that, because the south of England has obviously got a far warmer climate than the north of Ireland. They're 400 miles near the equator or the tropics or whatever. So while we still have a threatened frost, well, probably into April sometimes, it's much warmer there. So add a couple of weeks, or at least add a couple of weeks or a month on to them. So that's our first little thing. That can go in your greenhouse, on your windowsill, anywhere that's warm and dry until they take root. And then, as I say, just let them out and put them out in nice pots, or keep them there. They still grow like that. So that's number one. That's my first thing. The next part of the programme is outside, where we're going to sow butter beans, nasturtiums, tomatoes, and I haven't a clue what these are. They look maybe as if they're in their last legs, but I'm going to plant them and see what comes up. And we've got little labels, just homemade labels, a pen to mark them, and that's another thing. Once it's cyclamen, that's a great plant there, hardy annual. That lovely red flower lasts for months and months, and that one is, I've got it a few years, and you save the corms every year, and they come up faithfully every year. So just the last part is the labelling. Again, these are just cut off from corrugated plastic, old posters and things, and I have a habit of doing this, not labelling things, so I'm not going to bother putting a date on them. I know they're 2021 somewhere, because I found that you can use them from year to year for a start. So the first one was, can anybody remember? The first one was the basil. So, and I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but that's the basil. Put it at number one. Number two was the parsley, wasn't it? Number two was the parsley, was it? I think it was parsley. Now they've probably been corrected that it was salad. Anyway, we'll change them about if it's wrong. Number three was salad. And number four is, last but not least, is the peppers. first piece of gardening on the 24th of March, is it? 2021. That's us. So we'll hopefully have a heap of salad and basil and parsley in no time. Come back in a couple of months and we'll see what's there. So the sun has come out, rain has stopped, we're going to go outside. Okay, so we're back again outside. This is just some spare soil. If you gather it up over time, just buying compost, and you can reuse it and as I say, use all sorts of wee things to re-fertilise it and enrich it, and probably you'll get a good result. I'll use this as a detail. So, butter beans. Did it remind you of the fairy tale Jack and the Beanstalk? Do you remember the magic beans? So these are the magic beans. I love butter beans, and they're very, very hard to get, even in shops. I suppose they're hard enough to grow. So my dad used to sow them, and we loved them. We had them for dinner, lovely. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. I thought at 21. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. We have already prepared 7 buckets. Now these are just cheap buckets that you buy in any hardware shop. I got them, I think, in Homebase. They were 59 pence or something each. I got them, turned them over and bored wee holes in the bottom and made wee flower pots out of them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm just going to do 3 and then 2 in the last one. They're against this wee wire fence, so they'll, when they start growing, that they'll have a support there and all the way up, and also we'll use the canes to help. And again, it's just a matter of simply digging a wee hole. That's all right, you'll have it. I have this wee gadget. It's an old broomstick with a wee point made on it, and it makes a nice handy wee hole. If the dog he doesn't get out of the way, you can have with it. So 1, 2, 3, a little face. 1, 2, 3, a little face, an emoji. 1, 2, 3, an emoji. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's nice. 1, that's tighter. 2, and that's a lot tighter. 3, and then 2. 1, 2. So that should be our 20. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20. And planting is as easy as can be. Boink, boink, boink. Drop one of our magic beans. Of course, magic beans means something different nowadays, doesn't it? There's all sorts of magic about. $18, $19, $19, $20. I'll just cover it. And again, I planted these last year and out at the other fence, and again it was a bit late. But no, hardly need to water them. There's plenty of rain, but we'll just go and get some water here in the hose. And if you want to get the dog out of the road, this is the thing. So. Flowers the best. And hopefully in about 3 months' time we'll have lovely butter beans for our dinner. Hopefully. That's the plan. So that's our first one, butter beans. Number 2, I'm going to do these 4 pots. And in them I'm going to put the mysterious bulbs that I found. I think I have 12 of them, so again nice and evenly divided, 3 per pot. Haven't a clue what they are. They are some breed of flower.
Haven't a clue what they are?
Haven't a clue what they are. I found them in my gardening area, and they are some sort of a flower, quite possibly dahlias, but I'm not sure. And that I have that habit of taking things out of their packets, throwing away the packets, and of course they're lost. But we're going to plant these anyway. So again, it'll be just a case. I think it's 12 o'clock. So they're already starting to sprout. So, and they're not looking too healthy. So I suppose we better get them in quickly. I hope they come. I hope they come again. So, well,
see them sprout.
So I'll get you this wee one. It's looking a bit withered, mind you. Hope it pulls again. It might be dead. I hope not. Yeah, I think it would probably be all right. You know, there would be anything coming up there. So again, 3, 1, 2, 3. Emoji 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And with these little lads, you put the bottom down and the wee. It mightn't be great now. I hope to goodness they're all right. They might be past their best. In, 3. Running away on me. Hen, 3, and hen, this way down, 3. And again, these are hardy enough, I'm sure, to leave outside, so we're not. We'll get plenty of rain and that, I'm sure. Just label when I'm here. So that's going to have to do for now. And over here we have our broad beans. Broad beans, and that applies to all 7 pots. So that's 2 of our things. Next we're going to go into the greenhouse and do the tomatoes and the little corm type things. Now I'm going to do the corm, tubers, cyclamens in hanging baskets. I have 3. I'm going to just do 2 for now. I have 3 prepared, but I'll do 1 for each side of my front door. And I'm going to fill them with soil first of all. So I only got this 2 years ago and I love it. That's really got me interested, started in my gardening. So we'll just go over here and fill our baskets with soil. So much for our Nasturtiums. Never mind, we'll put in a few of them. This is real life. This isn't pretend stuff, this is real life. This is what happens in real life. Like, for example, when you buy plants in those little papers, you know, there's the paper, that little paper thing that surrounds a bulb hasn't completely decomposed there. I think the cardboard would actually go quicker. You get a lot of them in little rough cardboard containers, like an egg carton, and that seems to decompose quicker. This is like a fibre material, so I don't necessarily want that at the moment. But had a bit of soil now that they fell on, would probably go. But it's unfortunately tarmac. Well, we just go into, oh jeepers, everything's going on. We'll just go into the greenhouse and do these. I'm going to hang up the tray. So I'm going to put about maybe 3 in each one again. Maybe 2 would be enough. Hard to know with these. Right, but I'll risk 3. So this is a little tuber thing, and again they come up year on year so reliably. Put the root part down into the soil, obviously. They double, sometimes do that, they double up. Three again, so. I think these are going into certainly their 3rd year, if not their 4th. So they're lovely, reliable little plant, hardy perennial, cycling them, and they flower for quite a. They don't come up to, I suppose, lateish on in the summer, but when they do come up, they're this last long times or into the cold weather. I'm just going to get the water for them because I have to take this in. Watering for starters, and we'll hang them up. Just have to be careful with these. Here we go. This one down, it's not in use at the moment. Another little tip in gardening, I found every year wash out all your pots from the previous year's residue, clean them, start off afresh. It helps so there's nothing left from the year before. And again. And come back in a couple of months and that'll be lovely flowers. Now the other thing is, the last thing in the greenhouse is the tomatoes. And where do they land? For the tomatoes, last year I did my first venture into growing tomatoes, and I had them all up along there and really used all my room. It made all these shelves and this side redundant and largely on this side too. I had far too many tomatoes. I shared them out among family and friends. Still had too many. They were beautiful, but this year I'm only going to do 3 pots. Last year I did 7 buckets up along there, or 9 buckets. So we're just going to do 3 pots against the back, the little back space here, and through time we'll put in the stakes, and when they start growing. They were very, very successful. So just see what we have in the packet here. I think they're called, there's all these were bought, these are called Outdoor Girl, and they were a lovely tomato, quite fleshy, more than seedy maybe, but they were lovely. So just again, I'm just wonder what way to sow these. I'll put about 5 in each pot. Again, you don't even need hoses, and you can put them on the surface and cover them over. Maybe 5. So, sometimes I put 2 seeds in it and a wee hole just in case one doesn't take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get some more. You hardly see them now, my hands are so dirty. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put 2 in. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And 1, 2. Oh, we're only doing 3. Well, I'll put these in for good luck. Never know, they might come up. Just cover them over. And a wee bit of water, because they're staying inside. They're the only ones that really have to stay inside. All the other things are growing our temperate climate, but these need well, I tried growing them outside before and they just weren't successful for me. And just put them right down here along the back. I suppose in a way you think they wouldn't get the sun, but they do. They will eventually get the sun. It's gone almost 3 or 4, 3 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock now, so it's getting late. This is a little hydration system or irrigation system for tomatoes, and a little pipe, and you can fill this little reservoir with water and put your pipe on there and have it that you have water trickling down in the tomatoes and dry spells, or if you're away for a while and can't get out to water them and that type of thing. But usually they're resilient. They're a resilient little plant, and they will. They don't take an awful lot of care, but they do take some. And again, it's all trial and error with me at the moment. So that's our tomatoes, and last but not least, our nasturtiums that fell all over the ground. Okay, so this is the last part of our planting, and it's at the front door. We have our very reliable watchdog who is there 24/7. And he's awfully good, but he never barks. He's Rufus. He's a lovely fella. So, at the front door, these are the pots we've got. Last year I had nasturtiums in them, grew beautifully. I put up these little frames, little trellis frames, so that the nasturtium can climb. If I had to put it right up the wall, they'd climb. But anyway, they just make a lovely display there. And so we're going to put nasturtiums on the 2 back pots, and at the 2 front ones I'll just put a few more of the corm tubers. Again, about 5 seeds in each pot of the nasturtiums, 5 or 6, and of the corms I'll put 3 in each pot because they're large. So again, we're doing our boring, nice and handy. And nasturtiums are a great old plant. They're so reliable and so dependable, and every year they never let you down. Again, if you put 2 or 3 in it, oh, that's move over to the other side. That's my reliable dog. And again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Couple in each. Fairly dispensable because they reproduce waste. And then for the front pots we do corms. They're a lot bigger. We just do 3 in each pot. So again, I'm just going to do it with my hands this time. Root side down. Root side down. And root side down. Cover them over it. That's a handy thing of water. Jack drinks out of that when he's passing. So, 1, 2, and 3. Sprinkle with water. Eventually. I know where where the nasturtiums are, I'm just going to mark this out here. And maybe I'll just put my nasturtiums. Nasturtium. And I know what these are. And that's the planting finished. I'm going to finish as I started by saying I'm no expert and I'm no professional, I'm no gardener, learning as I go along. I heard one time it was said that an expert is somebody who lives more than 100 miles from the place where they're speaking. Well, I could live 1,000 miles away, I'm still not an expert, but it's a lovely pastime. We all basically know you plant a seed, it grows. We all basically know that a bit of heat, a bit of moisture and soil produces all sorts of plants. And what plant grows the best of all? Weeds. Where would you be without weeds? It's a lovely pastime. I just say try it, have a go. And that's from somebody that's doesn't know an awful lot about it. They're gorgeous. Again, another dependable perennial, and that's your old traditional. You know, there's all sorts of different daffodils now and different mixtures. That's your old tradition. I can remember from a child just loving the shape of that. Look at it, it's perfect. Like, nature is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And then behind here, look at the wee primroses, another lovely wee plant, an endangered species till quite recently. I think they're sort of taken off again, and that's quite kind of a wee bit messy, but during the year other things come up. I don't weed it that often, but these never let you down. And just a few wee bushes, and that is to say I'm no gardener, but